After 4 decades, Disneyland has announced that they're ending the current annual pass holder program. What does that mean for current annual pass holders, and what does that mean for the future? We're going to talk about all of that in today's video. Hey there, my name is Eric D, and on this channel my hope is always to make your next Disney adventure a little bit more magical with tips and tricks, food reviews, and news. So if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. But earlier this afternoon, Disneyland sent a message out to annual pass holders and also sent an official statement out on their Twitter. And we've become accustomed to whenever we see that official statement come out on that solid blue background, it's usually not the greatest news because it's usually kind of things aren't going well with the governor or something is changing for Disney fans. And today was a pretty big change. The official statement they sent out to everyone on Twitter said, "We want to thank our annual pass holders for their understanding during this closure period. Due to the continued uncertainty of the pandemic and limitations around the reopening of our California theme parks, we will be issuing appropriate refunds for eligible Disneyland Resort annual passports and sunsetting the current program. We are currently developing new membership offerings that will utilize customer insights to deliver choice, flexibility, and value for our biggest fans." So that was the official statement that went out on Twitter from Ken Potrock, the president of Disneyland Resort, and then in the email that went out to annual pass holders, and that's also on the annual pass holder website, they went into a little bit more detail, and so I wanted to call out one or two things that were said there. I know that sunsetting the annual passport program will be disappointing to many of our pass holders, who are just as anxious as we are to reopen our gates and welcome guests back when the time is right. But we are also very excited about what's ahead. We plan to use this time while we remain closed to develop new membership offerings that will utilize customer insights to deliver choice, flexibility, and value for our biggest fans. Once we have more information to share about our future membership offerings, our pass holders will be the first to hear from us as we embark on this next chapter. As an annual pass holder myself, of course, this isn't a happy announcement and something that I know a lot of pass holders will be upset about, and already there's been a lot of comments online and a lot of questions and concerns about this. At the same time, as we've talked about before, with reduced capacity whenever the parks do reopen, it would basically be impossible for the annual passport program to work as it currently does, because with well over 1 million pass holders, and if they are at 25% capacity and you're having to take in regular ticketed guests, those who have hotel reservations, and then those annual pass holders, there's no way that even over a month period of time, everyone would even have one day that they could get into the parks. And if those people have paid for daily access, they're not getting what they paid for. So it's understandable that Disney has to come up with a new plan of how to handle this. And based on how long the parks have been closed with no one getting in, who knows how long California will require Disney to run at a reduced capacity. So if they are running at 25% for months and months, that would extend this for a long, long time. So Disney can't just continue to extend annual passports again and again, month after month, saying, okay, you didn't get what you paid for, so you get another month added on, and you get another month added on. That's not sustainable either. So I understand that they have to change things, but once again, I also understand the concern with that. But when you think about it, Disney was already making changes to the annual passport program earlier on. By the summer of Star Wars Galaxy Edge, they blocked out the deluxe passport for much of the summer, and they introduced the flex passport where you could reserve a few days, but you did have to go online and reserve like 2 days at a time. I think we will see them leaning that way. And one thing I wanted to call out here is let's not forget what Bob Chapek said earlier this year in one of the investor calls, where he talked about the difference between your visitor who is a tourist and also the annual passport visitor who comes several times a month or comes several times a year on an annual passport.
As you know, different guests, depending on where they're coming from, have different relative values in terms of their contribution as a guest to the park. And typically somebody who travels and stays for 5 to 7 days is marginally more valuable to the business than someone who comes in on an annual pass and stays a day or two and consumes less merchandise and food and beverage.
So I think that quote is important to keep in the back of your mind when you're thinking about all of this, that they do make a lot of money off those tourists who are coming for several days, paying full price for the park tickets, and also those tourists who are eating, each meal in the park, maybe staying at a Disney hotel, and then going to the gift shops and spending more money on that daily basis than an annual pass holder who maybe comes for the evening, eats dinner there, and yes, the annual pass holder does that multiple times, but if they can be replacing that tourist, you know, every 5 days with a new tourist who is staying 5 days, eating those 3 meals a day, getting those things out of the gift shop, staying in the hotel, replacing those tourists, of course they're going to be making more money that way instead of just filling the park with people who are coming in the afternoon or evening or on Saturday and Sunday. So I think that is something also in the back of their minds. I'm sure we'll find out more on this, but my personal guess is Disney will be leaning towards more of a flex passport system where people are having to make those reservations on a regular basis. I wouldn't be surprised if they still had some very high level, premier, top of the line. You're paying a ton of money for access every day, but I think even like deluxe passports, I think will be more like you are reserving access to the parks, whether it is maybe Disneyland or just California Adventure. Maybe park hopping is still in play here. We'll have to see how that plays out. I know Disneyland has a lot of differences from Walt Disney World, but I think they are learning a lot from Walt Disney World as far as the reservation system goes. And of course, it's not going to be the exact same, but I think they're learning a lot as far as, okay, we can figure out exactly how many cast members we need here. We're not having some days where we think we're going to be busy and we're not. We have other days where, oh, we have a certain number of cast members here, then we need a lot more. They're able to plan ahead like that. So I think as far as having the right number of cast members on hand, giving the guests a good experience, I think they're able to handle those things better and not having the park overwhelmed. So I think those are things that they're taking into account on this. So my guess is heading much more towards a flex passport system, no matter what tier you're at, making those reservations. But I want to know in the comments below, what are your thoughts on this? My guess is most annual passport holders are not too excited about this, but what are your thoughts on what the changes are? Also, my guess is when they first start out, I'm thinking everyone will have to just be using standard tickets for the first little while, and then they'll reintroduce some sort of annual pass holder program of some sort. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts. This is a big change for Disneyland fans, so let me know in those comments below. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, and also check out the other videos about Avengers Campus and also Snow White's Enchanted Wish. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see y'all again real soon. Bye.